beautiful people. So I am headed to pick up my lovely wife from work, and I was just, first of all, let me say this: I'm always talking to myself, I'm always processing things, and I know that I'm very, 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 very hard on myself. That bus says 1-1. I'm very, very hard on myself. My wife tells me that all the time. Oh, okay, so I wasn't in the wrong. You was just driving like a nincompoop. Okay, so go ahead. My wife tells me that all the time. My therapist tells me that. My spiritual coach. And in so many ways, my team tells me that I'm hard on myself. Like, I have this, I think that I have to be perfect when I do everything. I think that everything has to be perfect. And I literally I give myself anxiety every day by just scanning the entire day and saying to myself, like, did you do it perfect? Did you piss anybody off? Did you do your job the best of the best? How did your little girl show up? I do that every single day. If I'm at a family event, I'm like, how was I acting? If I'm just anywhere, period, I'm always scanning how my behavior was. Like, how was I? Was I perfect? Like, I obsess. And I have come across a few things on social media that, loosely paraphrasing, that we have the tendency to move on to the next thing. When we work through something, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Let's just use that for example. Say you work through something, right? Or you get something done, and then you just move on to the next thing. Like, you don't allow yourself time to like bask in the fact that you completed this task. Like, you move on to the next thing, and you move on to the next thing, and move on to the next thing, and move on to the next thing, instead of allowing yourself a moment to just feel that accomplishment. And I feel that I have been in that space for a long time. Like, I have been on this journey to just being kinder to myself, speaking life into myself, being free, feeling free, learning how to love myself, learning how to love others unconditionally, just as I'm learning to love myself. Like, I have been on this journey to figure this shit out for a very long time, and I don't give myself enough credit. Like, I feel like I give myself credit sometimes in an egotistical way, like, kind of, and I don't know if I'm using that right, but I do it in a way like, oh, because I've been in therapy for this long, and like, I talk a good game on social media, but deep down inside, like, I really haven't took a step back and was like, wow, like, you stuck it out for 8 years. And my therapist even told me, she was like, you have been my longest client. And I'm like, girl, for real? And she's like, no, Natasha, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Like, and I'm learning to like accept that. And I'm starting to realize, like, it's really not a bad thing, because I have spent 30 years of my life, and I say 30 years of my life because I from the womb, I just felt my mom's sadness. From the womb, I felt my mom's shame. And I have, I've been trying to figure this shit out. And I spent most of my life, just operating in my trauma. And when I started to go to therapy, I want to say maybe I was like 30 or 31. I don't give myself enough credit for the progress that I made. Like, if anything, I shame myself for going through therapy, and then like being like literally like split and cracked open, like to like literally, that's interesting, license plate has 4 in it, literally being split open, and like myself is looking at myself, and I'm just watching, and I see myself as I go back and I think about all these times that I was operating in my trauma, and like, I'll shame myself. Like, I don't give myself grace. Like, I won't say to myself, listen, you didn't know any better. Listen, this is what you was exposed to. Listen, this is how you seen the adults around you operate. I don't give myself grace. Like, I talk down, I talk bad to myself. And I've been in friendships, and relationships where I allowed those people to, like, anytime I quote unquote made a mistake, I allowed, instead of a lesson, that's all it is. A mistake is a lesson, right? But those people would just because they're nothing but a reflection of me. And if that's, you know, if that's how I'm treating myself, of course it's going to be easy for them to just think that they could like point the finger and say, hey, you did this, hey, you did that. I'll never forget this guy that I was dating in college. I was in a dance team, and I'll never forget, we had to learn a dance routine literally the fucking day before the recital. And this guy, Darren, the black guy, Darren, he played in the Showtime Soul Food, right, as Lim. So, you know, he does dance, and he was a special guest judge, and like that was a big deal for us. And so I remember, you know, learning this dance at the very last minute and like making a mistake. And like the crowd like said, oh, because my face was like, oh shit, like you could see it in my face that I made a mistake. And you know, if you perform, you know, you just keep going. You pop up and you keep going. Like I kept going, but it still was obvious that I made a mistake. And so I never forget, my boyfriend at the time was like, he came down on me bad, like you made a mistake, like, and he just like that in a nutshell. And this guy, mind you, like he ran track for a very long time, and something happened to him where he couldn't run track anymore. Okay, I'll just tell y'all, that nigga got shot and he couldn't run anymore. And so I said it to say, he knows what it's like when you perform, you're an athlete, like you know what it feels like to make a mistake. And thinking back, just the things that he shared about his upbringing, like I wouldn't be surprised that he said that to me, because maybe that's how his father talked to him. Maybe his father pumped that in him, that mistakes were not allowed, right? So I allowed that man to like make me feel bad. We came in second place, but you know, like you fucked it up. It was a beautiful ass fucking performance. We killed that shit. I just forgot, and I went right back to it. But I allow people to like make me feel bad for the mistakes that I made. And it was because I would criticize myself for making a mistake. My caregivers, like they literally critiqued everything I did. I remember my mom saying to me, for a very long time, I used to say it too. She was like, yeah, you was an out of control teenager. You did it, like you did this, you did that. But the reality is I didn't know any better, sweetheart. If you ain't teach me any better, how am I gonna know? I'm just going through life. I've been a parent since I was 3 years old. Like, baby, like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just out here just doing shit. You know, I have questions. I'm curious. I lost my virginity at 13 years old. I was put on punishment for it. Like, my mom didn't know how to have a conversation. My mom did not know how to do me, period. It was just like punishment. It was punishment, and it was like being like fucking ridiculed, being burned at the stake, and just, you know, publicly shamed. Like, and I feel like a lot of black moms do that. Like when they're kids, I feel like, especially with a daughter, I know some men might chime in and say my mom was like that. That's not my experience. My mom my mother, my brother, if anything, like the males in my family, like their behavior, it was more like 7-7. It was more like their behavior was like acceptable. Like it was acceptable for my brother and my male cousins to behave the way that they did. And like they had behavior problems. They was off the fucking chain. But like the girls, we were held to a different standard. Like our mothers was always ready to go toe to toe, blow with us. And don't get me wrong, I think there were times where we needed that fucking tuning up. But just like those boys were acting out, we were acting out to some degree as well. If not more, because it was more pressure put on us as females. But I say all that to say, because the way that I was raised and there was no grace given to me, I still operate the same way. I still shame myself, and I don't give myself grace. Like I literally, like I said in the beginning of the video, scan everything. Like, how was your day? How did you do it? Like, how did you move? I keep saying da-da-da. how were you behaving today? Funny enough, my son's father, literally, when we would go places, would scan everything that I did. Every little bit of movement. And I'm 5'8". I like to say 5'9" because I don't mind being tall, right? My son's father used to scan everything that I did, even the way I sat. And he used to tell me I was selling vagina. Like, and no, I'm not, sir. I'm not. I'm 5'9", because we rounded it up. I'm 5'9", and I'm going to sit like Joanna, man, because my fucking knees hurt. I'm tall. When you're tall, you have knee problems. This man's 6'1". He should know this. If you tall, baby, it's uncomfortable when you sit in a movie theater. It's uncomfortable when you fucking sit on an airplane. It's uncomfortable. right? And so he used to say, yeah, and I would sit with my legs open because I was comfortable like that. Like my brothers, they call me a man or whatever. And to some degree, I did have mannerisms like a dude because, I mean, that's just how I was. Shit, I want to be comfortable. You call me what you want. I'm going to be comfortable. And his dad used to just be like, oh, you trying to sell stuff. He was trying to say I was trying to sell my stuff to his uncle. Like, sir, and was not. I was just trying to sit comfortably. Like, and it was to the point, my therapist, she and we processed it. And she was like, you know, this whole time you were in the session, like, you did not get comfortable. You literally sat on a couch with your legs crossed and you kept fidgeting around. You refused to get comfortable. I believe I had on the dress because that would have been the only reason why I was sitting like that. But she was like, you looked so uncomfortable because this man literally, like, everything I did, it was like, you got to be perfect. And my mom was the same way. Oh, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. And just thinking back, my grandmother probably was the same way and didn't know. You know, it was the same way. And I grew up in a household, my grandma, 6'6", on the license plate. I grew up in a household, my grandmother found Christ later in life, and I went to church with my grandmother every Sunday. Every Sunday, y'all, till I was 14 years old. But I promise you, I cannot tell you not one scripture from that Bible. I promise you I can't. I can't. My wife went to church. Come from her mom went to church. My wife could tell me, because you know the story of Job and okay, that's how I learned by the things that my wife showed me. I cannot tell y'all because I would be like, and I was trying to learn. You know, I was able to like maybe like process the story. Like I can't tell you scripture, but I would be able to sit with my grandmother and my aunt, her sister. I used to be able to like talk about some stories with them, but I really like, I was like there because I had to be there, you know. But I am saying all of this to say that I am starting to sit with the fact that everything that I just said to y'all is the reason why I am the way that I am, because everybody wanted me to be this and be that, and you can't be like this and don't sit like that. And I had to realize that these people that was like given the direction and was so opinionated about stuff, and oh, you messed up that performance. These people wasn't doing what I was doing. Like, bro, you ain't up there dancing. You not up there, you know, you ain't do 50 goddamn hours of training and got up there and danced. Like, you ain't doing none of that. You are sitting in the audience and you are watching. A lot of these people who had so much to say, they were not living the life that I was living. Like, they literally was living vicariously through me. And I was so easy to manipulate because I was raised to be so obedient. I literally was raised like, literally, I gotta work on that because when I get going, I start talking real fast. I literally was taught to honor thy mother and thy father, and thy days on earth will be longer. A lot of us are taught to be obedient to the most fucked up people in our lives. Like, seriously. But I am learning. I literally say to myself, baby, you did your best today. And I just started that. Like, this is fresh. This is fresh as of today, just started that. Because it's making me sick. It's making me sick. Like, when you carry shame like that, I seen this quote that says shame erodes the spirit. And it does. And things, entities, energies will latch onto you. People and because people ain't nothing but energy. That shit will latch onto you if you let it, and make you feel like shit, and make you feel bad. And entities and energies, they look for fear in you, and if they see it, oh baby, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. They're gonna torment you. And I am literally working through that. I am working through shame. I felt my mama's shame in the womb. I felt that shit. My grandmama told me when I got here, when I was old enough to understand, the shame that I was feeling was from my mother. And my mom wanted me to be so perfect. She wanted me to be so perfect because she felt like she wasn't. And there's no such thing. Nobody is perfect. We are all on this planet to have a human experience. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. You're here to learn lessons. You're here to the school of life, man. This is the hardest lesson. This planet is the hardest one. That's it, that's all. And I am reminding myself of that like every single day. 1111 on that license plate. Every day I remind myself that. Again, therapy 8 years. Spiritual coaching for 2. These classes, like this spiritual coaching class, is soul work. I am doing soul work. Whew, I'm doing soul work. I'm all hot, sweating like a hook in church. Let me get my head all cocked to the side, but Lord, yes. I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. If you are on a journey, or you trying to get yourself together to start a journey and all those things, man, give yourself grace. Celebrate the victories. It helps if you write positive things. You know, do a gratitude list. These are things that I'm grateful for. You know, when you do that, you'll stop focusing on the negative. And I have a real hard time with that. Like I process all the negative, that I forget that so many good things happen throughout the day. So many good things are happening in my life because I be so focused on it not being perfect. So yeah, 1616. Man, I love y'all. Good luck on this journey. It's going to take ass up, but it's worth it. Okay? Hang in there. I see you and I love you. We in this together, okay? I love y'all. Peace.